I hope this finds you well and living your best life in Jesus Christ. Anyone who knows me well knows that I am one of those people who very much want everything to be perfect. I intensely dislike, notice I don't say hate, when I find a flaw in whatever I'm doing. And that critical spirit has plagued me my entire life. Oh, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing your very best. The scripture tells us that we should do so. In Colossians 3:23 and 24, it reminds us that whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. But if we're not careful, the search for perfection will lead you to anger and bitterness, self-abasement, and eventually uselessness. And I can speak with great authority in this matter because I have often done precisely that. No matter how well something I do turns out, be it a piece of music, a musical performance, a commentary, a devotional, sermon, or whatever, if I'm not careful, I often find myself concentrating on the flaws in the piece rather than on the finished whole. As I've said many times, most mistakes can be prevented with a little bit more thinking, effort, and care. Except when they can't. The truth is that some mistakes in this life are unavoidable. See, I know what it's like to allow one tiny mistake to totally ruin your appreciation of something you've done and destroy any possible chance of joy from that achievement. My father was a good man. He really was. And he had the best of intentions, but he was often said that your achievement really doesn't mean anything unless in the end it was the best or unless it was perfect. Dad used to put it this way: when you're sweeping the floor, it's not what you get, it's what you leave that matters. It took me many years to learn the value of my work is not necessarily negated by the mistakes and imperfections that sometimes creep in. And the truth is that sometimes the mistakes and the imperfection are the thing that makes something truly valuable and beautiful. In Japanese culture, there's a technique known as kintsugi, which means golden joinery, which is the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery by mending the areas of breakage with lacquer, dusted with or mixed with powdered gold, silver, or platinum. What this does is it accentuates the flaws instead of hiding them, and it creates an object of beauty from something that is flawed and was broken. As a philosophy, it treats breakage and repair as part of the history of an object, rather something to be recognized rather than disguised. You know, I like to think that this may be the way that the Lord sometimes looks at us. I mean, let's face it, nobody's perfect. We all have flaws, some minor and virtually undetectable to others, and some major, which we think devalue us and make us absolutely worthless. And yet the Lord loves us, values us, and if we're willing, mends these flaws, filling the cracks with Himself, making something beautiful from something useless and broken. I think it's our imperfections that actually enable us to be used by the Father. It allows us to see the beauty in being mended by the Lord. I don't know about you, but when I look in the mirror, I see a lot of flaws. And if I start down the road of listing my flaws right now, my mistakes and imperfections will fill the rest of this devotional. It may never end. No matter how much I try to ignore the flaws or tell myself I'm worthy, self-doubt always creeps in, and once again, the quest for perfection steals my joy. It's in these moments that I try to remember that my idea of perfection really is not the same as God's. When I'm struggling, I go back to what the scripture says in Psalms 139:14. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. As I read this scripture, it soothes my heart and mind. If King David, who was far from perfect, had to remind himself that God's works are wonderful, why do I believe I should be exempt from doing the same thing? The truth is, there can be great beauty in imperfection. See, I was created, and so were you, by an incredible, awe-inspiring creator who designed us just as we are. We have worth, we have value, and We are dearly loved. Let's face it, perfection is overrated. I mean, it's a joy stealer. It's an illusion that'll drive you crazy if you let it. And frankly, if you're looking for perfection in this life, it ain't going to happen. Well, at least not now. No, I think instead of driving myself crazy, I will continue to strive to do my best, to be perfect. But I'm going to work to be undismayed by my mistakes, my flaws, my imperfections. I think I'll allow myself to be human. I'll do my best in everything I can, make mistakes occasionally, and never forget to glory in the one who sees the beauty in me anyway. See, he's the one who uses my flaws to his glory, the one who makes no mistakes. He doesn't make mistakes with me, and he doesn't make mistakes with you. I hope you make today a terrific day. I want you to know that I'm here if you need me. And I love you all.